Hey everybody, welcome to Houdini Hangout. My name is Peter. I host this stream, and yeah, it's great to have you with us this evening or whatever time it may be for you. I know obviously people are tuning in from all over the place, so nice to have you with us, and yeah, hopefully we'll get some cool stuff going tonight. Yeah, so we're kind of in the middle of July here, and things are crazy hot in North America. I don't know where everybody's at. Hello, Fractaler and Houseplant. Hello, everybody. Dion, Ruben, welcome. Yeah, things are crazy hot. What was it outside right now? Let's see. It's like high 80s where I'm at, which is pretty hot. But yeah, so things are going well. So for tonight's stream, I'm going to try to do something. I hope everyone's fine. Hydrate. Yeah, exactly. Hydration. What state are you? I'm in New York State. Really far from New York City though. I'm on the other side of the state. So I'm really close to Niagara Falls, Canada /US. So yeah, right on the US Canadian border. Hi, Joel. Welcome. Nice to have you. Yeah, so I was actually up in Toronto for a little side effects barbecue last week, maybe. Yes, Thursday of last week, which is partially why I was just busy because I was getting ready to head up there the next day. But yeah, so that was nice. Got to go up and have some good food and chat with a bunch of side effects people and just have a good time. So that was very nice. But yeah, things are going well. Like I said, we're going to be doing some Vellum tonight. Get back into some of that. Last time I think we did that, and well, it was kind of just came up by coincidence. And this time at that time I think we had a suggestion from someone to look into some like abstract Vellum stuff that this one artist did. And so I took a look at it and I was like, yeah, I think we could definitely, do something based on that. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to do. I'm just pulling up the video here, or the website, I should say. So what we have is, I think we're going to try to do, very moody fade to black again. What we're going to do is do something based on this stuff here. So I think what we're going to try to do is sort of this. I don't know if you can see my mouse over all that craziness, but this one right here, or which is also kind of like this one. So I think we're going to try something along the lines of this, get some cool animation going. And just as I was starting the stream up or starting the timer, I was like, wait a second. I should do the Houdini Hangout logo like that. Because then if I render it, it could be part of the intro. And I've been meaning to make more of those. So why not do that and kind of kill two birds with one stone? So that's going to be my idea for tonight. So the first thing I have to do is find where that file is. So I was literally doing that as I was loading the stream up tonight. I was like, wait a second, where do I have that file? And I don't really work on this computer. Like, it's not like really the main thing I do on here is stream. And so like I forget sometimes where some of these things go. So I just have to remember where on earth I saved this project file. And I know it's somewhere, but let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. I'm going to do a little searching. So we'll just do some searching on the side here while I look for this. Nope, I don't want to search in Houdini. I want to search in my whole drive. Where'd my drive go? There we go. Anyways, so yeah, like I said, we're going to do a little bit of like cloth kind of animated stuff like that, where it's going to be kind of, sometimes we store projects in a funny way. Yes. Oh yes. Yes, we do. My question is where, yeah, I just have to figure out where on earth I saved this project file, logo template project. I had this, but that's not the one that I really want. Template. Sorry. I'm gonna try to talk while there it is. Yes, I found it. I found it. Hooray. Oh, I'm opening up a new version, but that's okay. All right, I think I found it. So I'm gonna let this start to open, and we'll see where this goes. Oh, I see. That's actually not the right one anyway, so that's fine. We'll get the right one here in a second. So where is that? There we go. I got it. So yeah, for the stream tonight, sorry, I'm like trying to talk and do 20 things at the same time. So if you have any questions, thoughts, ideas, ways to do things better, whatever, please feel free to drop that in the chat. I'm not the foremost expert on this stuff. Like, I'm just a guy that knows about Houdini and likes to chat about it, and hopefully we can all learn something. So yeah, this isn't like, here's the only way you can do this. Like, I'm just going to be kind of trying to figure it out myself as we all go through this. So always happy to have suggestions and comments in the chat. So that's kind of the idea here. So I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I think this is going to be what I'm going to use. So let me transition over here. So yeah, so if you have comments, questions, anything like that, please feel free to put them in the chat. This is a safe place to ask questions, try to figure things out, that type of thing. So yeah, feel free to do that. And that's about all I've got to add for this evening as far as before we get into it. So why don't we get into it and we can start doing some Houdini stuff. So hi, Dave. Javad, I think, maybe. Welcome. Nice to have you here. Fractaler, you were asking, I would like to ask about something I'm not sure about. Do you accept modeling topic suggestions? I'm a terrible modeler. I've never been good at modeling. It's never something that I've like really done. So, I mean, you could have a suggestion. Maybe if it's like procedural modeling, that's something I could maybe do. But boy, am I bad at modeling. So, yeah, like when I worked in a studio, I was pretty much just an effects and technical kind of guy. Like I can do stuff, but it's not my strong point. And it's been a long time, and I really haven't done a ton in Houdini as far as modeling and stuff goes. So, if it's procedural, then maybe we could talk about it. But yeah, so sorry that I don't really have a better answer there. But yeah, I probably wouldn't do it just because I wouldn't have anything to really add to it. So we've done some talks about modeling in the past. So if you go back, there's I think I did one with Igor a while ago. I think it was like a year and a half ago, maybe something like that. But there was a whole modeling thing that we did, and he kind of talked about his way of modeling in Houdini. So if you're interested in that kind of a thing, go back and check it out. Certainly in there. I think I put in the title Polymarvels because that's what he goes by on a lot of like online sites and stuff like that. So take a look back and see if you can find that, but it should be there. And that might be something interesting to kind of understand a little bit about his technique and how he goes about doing it. Also, the modeler plugin, a lot of people really love. And I can't think of his name, the guy that makes it, but I've heard he's a great guy, super, super friendly and helpful for the community as well. So, yeah, check it out. Cool. Yeah. Well, then there you go. Oh, well, Alexi. Yeah, that must be it. Yeah. Alexi. Yes, I think that's right. I know I think he's from either Eastern Europe or maybe Russia. I'm not sure, but yeah, seems like a really, really nice guy. Alexei. Yeah, I'm not sure how it's spelled, but anyways, yes, yep, that's him. That's his name. Venzhula. I don't know. Anyways, that's the guy, and yeah, he seems like a really good dude. He's got a cool. Oh, okay, from Ukraine. Nice. He's got a good community built around his like modeler plugin and stuff like that. So check it out too. If you had a twisted tornado potato, could it be done as Vellums? Sure. Yes. It certainly could be done as Vellum. Yeah, you can twist stuff and do all sorts of crazy things with Vellum for sure. Anyways, so let's see here. What are we going to do? Let me save this as a new project or save as a new file, and we'll get this in the right spot. Oh man, I got a lot of folders in that one. All right, let's do this here. Sorry, give me a second. I'll get my files in order. There we go. And we'll just say HH logo. I don't know. Abstract Vellum, something like that. Cool. Looks good. Okay, I'm going to change this to my normal view here. There we go. Let me turn this on as well. Get that going. Cool. Okay, so what I have in here is a logo. I'd actually put this on. Do I work full-time for a studio or freelance? I work full-time for Side Effects. I am a training lead with Side Effects. I used for about longer than 7 years, but I worked at a commercial studio in the city I live in for about 7 years, and that's where I learned Houdini. But yeah, now I work for Side Effects. So this file, I'm pretty sure is online. I'm pretty sure this is on the, I want to say it's in the Discord. If you go to the, what the heck just came up here? Hello? Some weird thing just came up. I think if you go to the, well, that's interesting. I can't see it there. I'm going to go to my other account. I don't know why that's not showing up, but there is a channel that is the Houdini Hangout hip files. And I'm just going to make sure that this is a public channel because that's weird. Yeah, interesting. I don't know why that wasn't showing to me on the other one. But anyways, I think it might be in the... let me just... Sorry, I'm going to mute this real quick. So we're not getting sound from that. Sorry about this. Give me a second. There we go. Okay, there was just a question there. What was it? Do you know any good commercial studios that we can work with them as online freelance Houdini /TD artist? I mean, there's definitely people that would be out there that if you're looking to hire someone or you're looking to get hired, because getting hired obviously is a little different. You know, currently I feel like there's a little bit of a lull in the industry. So that's kind of a trickier spot, but there's certainly lots of people that you could reach out to if you were looking. Honestly, there's probably LinkedIn would be a great place to like reach out and see if there's anybody that's available, but I don't really know of any I don't know of any places that I would like say, hey, check this studio out as a freelancer. I don't know, unfortunately. Anyways, there was a point where I had given this out to everybody, and if they came up with something cool that they wanted to put in the intro reel, they could do that. It was a while ago. It was probably a couple years ago now. But at this point, yeah, if you're interested in that, I think you can find it online somewhere. I think it's in the hip file thing somewhere. If it's not, you can let me know. But anyways, yeah, so here's the logo. Let's get into this. Sorry, I'm kind of like a little distracting myself or something here. So anyways, here's the logo. We are going to, let's see what we've got here. So I think what I want to do is this is fine as far as like the geometry. I'm not super in love with it. So let's do this. Let's do a geo here. We're going to throw down a sim. We'll just call it abstract vellum. Oh, I didn't switch my keyboard over. Oh, hold on a second. I got to switch my keyboard over. I'm so used to using this other keyboard that this one is freaking me out now. So hold on a second. Give me one moment. I will be disappearing off screen. Thank you. Yes. Anyways, sorry. I got my keyboard happy now. Anyways, sorry about that. Yeah. So in case you don't know about this here, this is the ghosting objects. You can ghost your other objects or hide them. So in this case, if I had this on ghost other objects, we'll see it, or we can hide it. Hey, Motion Matty, welcome. Welcome to the stream. So we're going to say get logo and make that red. And let's grab the logo here. So grab out logo. There we go. Let me just see if I can do a remesh here because I want all these edges to be kind of smooth. I think that would be good. Let's see here. Yeah, I'd like them to be a little bit more like this, like triangulated. So let's see what we can get. Yeah, that seems a little better. Let me smooth this out a little. Let's see if this works. Yeah, I'm just going to give it a couple more iterations, maybe just a little more smoothing. This will even out the triangles here, so it'll get it a little bit more of an even triangulated kind of shape to it. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. How do we want to do this? I think what we will do is let's do this as a well, let's take a look at this again real quick. So we've got these kind of folds happening here, right? And there's maybe a couple different ways that this could sort of be made. It could be some sort of a pressure type simulation. I think what we're really seeing here is just the rest lengths being animated across from those bits of geometry. So that's, those are things that could certainly be done here. Just trying to think of what the best way of kind of doing this is going to be. Maybe what we do is just have an overall pressure and then allow the rest lengths to be animated like we're seeing here. And that could be kind of fun to do like that. So let's try that. Let's try that out, see what we can get here. So I'm going to turn this down just a little bit because I think we're going to that should be fine for here. I just would like it a little bit more interactive. We can always turn that back up. All right, let's do a Vellum configure. Let's do configure balloon. And we're going to have the cloth and the pressure. What I'm going to do with the cloth is I'm actually going to pin down anything that's basically on the ground plane. So why don't we do this? Let me make a group for these points. I'm just going to make a group node here, and we can do this as points, and we'll just call these pinned. You can call it whatever you want, but in my case, I'm just going to call it pinned. And why don't we just say, I'm going to bring up my geometry spreadsheet here. I just want to see how many of these are, yeah, I think we could give it like a low threshold here. Hey, Axis, welcome. I think we could give it a really low threshold and see how many points we get here. So animated mask over Vellum struts rest once gives me some crazy abstract effect. Oh, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, I mean, we could certainly play around with some of those things as well. I mean, there's kind of a few different ways you could go about this. I'm going to try it this way, and then we can always see if maybe struts would be a better way of doing it. Struts is a little bit more of like a soft body thing. So that's kind of a thing. This is awesome. Well, hopefully it'll turn out cool. Yeah, that would be great. Welcome, Ali. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, I'll mess that one up, but yes, welcome. Nice to have you. Something to remember about pressure too. I kind of had forgotten this a while ago, but you can actually now pressure exists as one whole primitive across the whole piece, the whole Vellum geometry, and it's just good to know that you can animate a pressure attribute at the point levels. Yeah, so you can animate pressure across these at the point level on the geometry instead of the one whole primitive is just, you can't animate that individually. So just something to keep in mind, that you can animate a pressure attribute. You can find that in the help documentation, all the Vellum attributes. Somebody in the chat was asking, it's cool VFX, saying, does it make sense between a 7960 and a 7950 or newer version, and any benefits between the RTX 6000 versus 5090? Do you think it makes any sense for Houdini? So there's a couple parts to that. Sometimes the workstation level cards can have higher capabilities at certain like types of floating point operations. So depending on what type of like OpenCL stuff you might be doing in Houdini, you could get better or worse results based on what graphics card you're using, because the workstation cards have better double precision, I think, instead of single precision. So that could give you some benefits, but I think honestly, if you're mainly just doing if you're doing fairly normal kind of like motion graphics, like stuff, a 5090 is going to be fine for you. I think it has 32 gigs of RAM. It's going to be awesome. You don't need to go with the 6000 most likely. I actually just got a laptop that has the mobile 5090 in it, and it's awesome, and I love it. I use that for work, and so that's really great. And then if you're saying between the 7960 and the 7950, if I'm remembering correctly, the 7960 is the Threadripper, and that's the lowest Threadripper, and a 7950 is the top of the line Ryzen. And so honestly, between the two, I just, based on pure price, I would probably go with the 7950X. They're probably somewhat comparable in the in their capabilities, but with the Threadripper, you start to lose a little bit of the single threaded power, like the single core power, with the multi-core, the multi-core kind of making up the balance. And there are a lot of things in Houdini that are threaded like that, but there's also things that are single threaded. So balancing those two out together can be can be really beneficial. And a lot of people love this 7950X or the 9950X kind of generation. I've seen a lot of online VFX people talking about that and really liking it. And you get a much cheaper overall platform. Now that does mean you can't go as high with your RAM and things like that. And there's a few caveats to that, but that platform overall is probably going to be a pretty solid one if you're looking to kind of balance price versus return on investment, power. So that's my 2 cents. There's pros and cons to everything, and I'm happy to have that chat in Discord more if you'd like to, but, yeah. Unreal Editor just destroyed my GPU. Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. Related question, will Karma ever support AMD? If AMD cards are able to run CUDA or run optics, then yes. I think there are some things that AMD are trying to do in that regard, but I'm not sure. That's not something that side effects probably will really have much input on. It's really more so if there's going to be third-party capabilities there that we could integrate or something, but it's not something that I see happening anytime soon. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, welcome, Sovada. Yeah, welcome from France. Cool. Hope things are going well over in France. Anyways, all right, let's jump back into this. So we're going to pin these points down. Let's pin some stuff here. I'm going to make a quick expression. We'll just say at p.y like this, is we'll say is less than 0.001, maybe like that. We'll try that, see how that works. See what points that gives us. And sure enough, looks like it gives us a pretty good amount of points there. Maybe I'll just go a little higher with this. Maybe I'll just say, I don't know, do 0.05. Get some of the edge ones to kind of stay connected as well. So there we go. That's great. So now we have this vellum cloth. Those are pinned in place. We should be able to, let's see here. If we go to, I'm going to do a vellum solver. Wire that in. We're compiling. Cool. All right. So this, if we visualize, I think we should see. No, maybe not. Oh, that's weird. I thought those showed up there. Maybe I'm just forgetting something. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways. All right, so let's take a look at this here. So we've got our pressure. We've got that. Let's just hit play, see what happens here. It should keep it. Should hopefully. Oh, nope. It did not pin it in place. Oh, because I didn't set them as pinned. Duh. There we go. It's like, why am I not seeing those pinned? Probably if you set them as pinned, they'll look pinned, and then you'll see these little visualizations here. Dummy. All right. There we go. Anyways. It's a weird Asus EPG GPU dock. Oh, yikes. Interesting. So it's like an external GPU thing. That doesn't sound fun. Yuck. All right. I'm going to put a ground plane in here, but I'm going to lower this just by a little bit. Like that. So hopefully we're not running into any collisions here. 12 gigabytes, 1.21 gigawatts. But this is not destroying your GPU. That's a bummer. I always hate when you get things like that, when you get weird hardware stuff or trying to, things are just breaking. It's always the worst. All right, we've got our thing falling down here. So let's mess with this a little bit. Let's say we can let's just adjust the rest scale here of this, and I'm going to call this pressure as well. So we're going to get that output group as pressure. Let's see, let's see here. Oh, those are very, very loose. So let's maybe up the stiffness of those a little bit as well. Should probably help us keep this a little better. There we go. What's our stiffness like here on our stretch? Yeah, it's pretty loose. Let's stiffen that up a little bit as well. Don't want these to be too loose. I want the cloth to be stiff on the outside. Yeah, there we go. We just need to up the pressure now. So just remember that when you're doing something like this with pressure, the pressure constraint kind of helps balloon the object, and then the cloth is actually going to be the outside part kind of constraining in the pressure, right? So if you adjust the stretch of the outside part, that's going to help it keep a bit more to its length, whereas the internal stuff, like here, if we up the stretch of our vellum cloth to something like 100,000, it's going to make this object quite a bit stiffer, and then the pressure is just going to be kind of pushing on it from the inside here. So I'm just going to adjust these rest length scales here. Now you can see that we're really getting super puffy objects. However, these little ones aren't really getting us that. So that's kind of a bummer. So let's mess with this a little bit here. So let's go back. Maybe we'll do 2.5. I'm going to work on these in a second here. So just going to, let's see here. Let's try. See, I'm also going to turn one sub-step up here just to give us a little bit more strength, maybe. Okay, so yeah, it does look like the pressure is getting stolen by the big parts. I think that's partially true, but if we also look at this, it looks like we have separate pressure constraints for each of these, right? And so what I'm kind of thinking is happening here. Yeah, it does kind of look cool. So what I'm guessing is happening here is that because this pressure constraint is going through this open area here, it's sort of over pressuring this. Like it's kind of expecting that it's creating a pressure for a volume maybe this size, where in fact this actually has this big cutout from it. So it's kind of over pressuring versus these here. And I'm pretty sure we have separate geometry, separate pressure constraints based on these individual pieces. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I would think it gets calculated by the constraints. I don't know 100% sure on that, how the calculation happens, but let's take a look here, and we're going to look at the constraint geometry maybe at this vellum pressure step. And let's look here. Let's scroll way to the bottom. I think it's going to be down here. And sure enough, yep, we have 4 different pressure constraints. So that's good. That's really helpful. And we can see here that we have our rest length for each of these as well. And so my guess would be that just based on this is that, well, let's see here. Let's do this. Let's do a blast, and we can just look at these here and see which one is which. So let's do a blast. We're going to select the pressure ones, right? We set these into a group. Primitives, I'm going to say delete non-selected. So now we just have those 4 pressure constraints, and these are all individual things. So it looks like these are in the same order as they were before. Let me put this into the dark gray. Maybe that'll be a little easier to see. That's kind of hard to see here, but this one here, let's see. So this one is 1. Yep. Okay. So these lower rest length ones right here are going to be 4 pieces, 4 pressure constraints. Exactly. So these ones are going to be the small ones. So what we could do here is we could, let's see, I'm going to get rid of this actually. And we're going to look back here, turn that off because that's a little annoying. So if we come down to the bottom here, we can see that our pressure constraints are, just trying to think of a procedural way of doing this, where we'll have each of those used. Margin average. Yeah, you could average it, sure. But I think what I want to do is actually just multiply these by a little bit. And I'm just trying to think of how I can specify those two. Okay, I know what I can do. I can take the logo here and I can, What do I have on this? Do I have any piece information? Nope, but I'll do this. I'll do a connectivity from this, and I'll do this at the primitive level. And now we should have our classes, of course. And let's see here. I'm going to let's see. I'm going to use the classes. Which numbers do we have here? I'm guessing this is 1 and 3 is my guess, but let's just see. I'll just do this real quick. Point num star constraint. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, point num. How would that work? Because I'm just thinking I'm going to change the resolution of this mesh eventually, so I don't want to hard code it into anything. Point number times constraint. Oh, yeah, you're exactly right. I could do that. Sorry. Yep. Yeah, you are exactly right. I could do that because it's just going to be the number of points here, primitives here, plus whatever. Yes, you're exactly right. Yep. Let's see. I'm just trying to think of what I want to do here. I'm going to do a detail wrangle, and I'm just going to add this in. You can promote. Promote the point number. It's on the end weight. Yeah, I'm trying to think of exactly what you mean there. So if we do a promote. Oh, you're saying a group promote? Sorry, I'm just trying to think of exactly what you're saying there. Sorry, I know this isn't always the fastest way to chat back and forth. Hello, Gideon. Welcome. So I'm just going to try this real quick because I think I can do this. So we can just do endpoints. Oh, actually, sorry, I could actually just do this. Oh, cool. Thanks, new crafter. We're going to be doing some interesting, some abstract Vellum. Hopefully it'll be interesting. Okay, so we could do endpoints in a group, which is going to be 0 here, and then actually, sorry, what's this? A group name? Yeah. So we'll do this. It's going to be 0, and then we're going to be calling this. Oh no, sorry. Is there an enprims? Primitives group. There we go. Zero through detail access to piece number. Yep. And then we'll just say pressure. And then that should give us the, let's see here. We're going to say int pressure prim num. Do that. And then we can just say I at pressure prim num equals, I can just use the same one, copy and paste this. All right, this is probably a little small. Make it a little bigger. That's probably fine. And we'll do that. And then, right, I did the wrong one. What's the name of it? the one I want. It's not pressure. It is stretch, I believe. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I'm just trying to do this weird and programmatically. And actually, this is going to be, I think, a lot more. You can make a piece group. Yeah, I'm going to do this instead, I think, is what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it this way here. So I'm going to do at class equals 1. Okay, let's see here. 0. We'll delete the non-selected ones here. So that's 0, 1. So we'll do 2 to 3 like this. And so, yeah, what I'm trying to solve is I want to get these two primitives here selected, or these two, yeah, it's actually just one whole constraint primitive. I want them selected based on these small ones. And I'm going to eventually change the mesh for right here. I have it at a really low resolution and I want to up it. And it's going to change all the primitive, the constraints, the amount of constraints that it's making. So I want to do that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two. I'm just going to do a group transfer like so. And we're going to put it over here. So we're going to wire this in from, and I'm just going to add a group here and call these the small pieces. And those have small pieces. And now if we come over here, we should have a group called small pieces, and it's going to be added within a certain distance, and the distance is too high. So we'll turn that way down. There we go. That should be putting the small pieces ones for me, and it has to be right. So I'm going to take this like this, just split off the pressure ones. We're going to invert the selection here. There we go. Let's see. Okay. Those are in my group. Then we will merge these back together. There we go. Like so. I think this should work. We'll have those all like that. The small pieces will be these two. And then I can multiply the pressure constraint. So I can just do an attribute just float like so. And we can do this with our rest length. Do this as a primitive. Do it rest length. Can we do both of it? No, just do rest length. And we'll just multiply it. I don't know. We'll try it by 2 for right now. This should work. So let's give this a shot. Oh, what did I do there? Shoot. Shoot. Oh, did I zero something out? Or is something getting added here? No. What happened here? Oh, right. I need to do the group. Let's try this here. Small pieces. Rest length. Primitive attribute. Let me just make sure that these are all. Oh, something happened here. What happened here? 16, 16, 15. Yes, what did I do? I did something dumb. Oh. Right, I can't split it like that. Shoot. So what I just did there, which was stupid, is when I did this merge here, I'm merging the points and it's too many points now. Shoot. I guess I could just do it manually. I mean, there's ways of doing this. I just don't want to spend too much time on this. Just trying to think. No, it's okay. You don't break the stream. It's good. I'm just trying to think of what I want to do here because what I could do is just do this and select the primitive number just manually if I wanted to. It wouldn't be procedural, but that's okay. 99043. And then 99045. And if I come down here, this should work still. I'll have to think about this because there's definitely a way to do this. I'm missing something straightforward. So this should actually now allow us to be able to inflate those separately. Take your time, never rush. Thanks. So this should now work as we were kind of expecting. So if I did this and did 100 on those are going to actually puff up way more than the other ones will. And I could just go crazy with it. And it's going to probably go absolutely nuts. Yep, too much. Too many. Let's do 1,000. Let's keep playing around here, see what we can find out. Yeah, there we go. And it looks like if we instead set this to 1, let me just make sure that that's going to... Yep, there we go. It's working. So we can set this to maybe, I don't know, probably 50 would be enough. 100 seemed a little too pronounced. There's no bounce there. I'd like it to be similar. So let's just see what we can get here and get a similar looking bounce between all these. Yeah, that looks pretty good actually. There we go. It's not going to move quite as much, but let's see. What does 10 do for us here? Yeah, maybe that's fine. Cool. Yeah, we've got a nice little kind of stretchiness there. That's fine. Maybe we'll do 15. Split the difference. Cool. Okay. Anyways, we've got that now. And the good news about that is that it should... Yeah, it does have a little bit of a bounce house vibe to it. Yeah, exactly. Now the good thing is that we should be able to change this. They should both sort of respond similarly. So if we did something like 4, I mean, obviously these have a little bit more ability to like move around and stuff, but they should all sort of respond in a similar type of behavior. So let's do this and yeah, that should be good. That should be good. All right, I'm just going to move these things over. It was a failed attempt. It was a good try. I actually want this to be over here. I think it's just a little nicer. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to have like, we want to be able to have this be sort of like ruffled, basically. And so with that in mind, let's see if we can't adjust the rest lengths of these cloth constraints, right? Because it's the cloth that we want to mess with, right? And these are all the constraints based on it. So what we should do, I think, would be to let's put some noise across those. The other thing that I'm thinking I want to do is these on the bottom here are all pinned in place. Yeah, I guess it shouldn't really matter with those because they're all pinned in place. All right, let's do this. Let's do some attribute adjust. Let's do another attribute adjust float. And this one we're going to do across the primitives. We can do the same thing, actually, rest length. So this is going to, we're going to call this small piece pressure. And then this, we're going to say noise. Okay, so let's do that. So we're going to do the rest length, and this is going to be for the group, let's see here, stretch, which is the cloth stretch. And we're going to say multiply, maybe give this noise. And we should be able to see this one. So let's do this. Yep, there we go. And let's multiply it by something. Let's do like 0.75 and maybe 1.25 because we don't want it to scale them down to nothing or anything like that, but we just want to add some noise to these rest lengths. And why is that not changing? Let's see. Let me just see how that visualizer is. So we have a min and max. Let's do auto here. So I'm not multiplying the pressure. Yeah, pressure does not work on a per. Maddie, yeah, pressure doesn't work. You can't do that with the individual things, but you can multiply pressure across it, like individual points, by adding a point attribute to it. So that's how you can actually adjust it across there. Come on, everybody, add some noise. Yeah, nice. Okay, so why is this not working? It is working. Slightly adjusting it. Why am I not visualizing this very well? Because we have rest length for other things. Right. So those are much too small to see here. So maybe we'll do this around something like, oh, right. It's like 0, 1, 2. So tiny. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a blast here, and I'm just going to look at the pressure ones because, or no, sorry, not pressure. Just going to look at the stretch ones. We'll see that. And then if we do this and control, then do those as auto, I should be able to do that. And we should be able to see what's something going on here. Yep, there we go. Cool. All right, let's see what we can get here. Yeah, let's do this. 0.5, 1.5. We'll really push these a little bit. There we go. Something like that. Let's give that a shot. I'm only using this to visualize it because if we are trying to look at everything, it's just impossible to see it through it. So we're just pulling out the actual constraints there. So let's see. Let's see what that does. See if it gives us anything here. Okay. Getting something. It's not really exactly what we would want, I don't think. Let's try making it a little bit bigger like this and do this. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Getting somewhere here, I think. Let's see here. What if we do like a 3 here? It's a little bit too much. Okay. So let's do this at 0.2, this at 2 maybe. Okay. Getting somewhere here. All right. So we've got this rest length going here, and what is it? Trying to remember how this works here. Is there a thing for pleating? Why do I feel like there is? There is a planar pleat, but this is only across a plane, unfortunately. So that really wouldn't work. Could possibly do it with if we unwrapped it, but that's not going to work. So that's okay. So I wonder if, yeah, so I'm just trying to think if we had this, the Vellum rest blend, I think you can put in a separate geometry here and that'll actually update the rest. But this doesn't work quite with that because we're looking to just adjust the rest positions themselves, which is fine. It's no problem. Okay, let's see here. So we have this set up now, and so if we simulate this, it's going to kind of flop around and do this kind of weird looking thing here. I wonder if we make the element size bigger. I mean, it's going to obviously make the whole thing sort of like that, you know. If we make it much smaller, I don't think it's going to really. Yeah, I guess actually it does work okay. Let's see here. This is where we probably would need more this is where we would probably need some more resolution to it to get some actual nice little details in there and stuff. But let's just say for now we'll do it this way here. Like this. And so all right, let's try. Let's see here. What do we want to do? We can set up an attribute that's going to go across this, right? I think it's not enough layering. It would be cool to add less repetitive. 1 layer, 2 more details with less bump. Yeah, maybe. I want to just get the effect going, and then we can kind of play around with what the actual like look of it's going to be. But yeah, it's not exactly what I was hoping for. This one has quite a bit more like random noise in it. I think it's just a lot higher resolution mesh, and so you can get a lot more details in there and have like a lot more crazy like weird little folds and stuff. The other thing is that I think what we want to do is loosen it up as well. And so I feel like if we were to take this and set this to be like, yeah, the noise is animated. Yep. That's the next thing I'm going to try to do. But here, I'm just trying to think if like we want to have like more softness in this. Oh, you know what? I should probably do that. I should probably change the bend. That would probably help us here. So let's really adjust this bend. Yeah, have multiple layers of noise. Sure, sure. Yeah, I could see that. Let's see here. I just want to just adjust some of these things here. Maybe it's the noise pattern too. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's see here. I am going to take this here and I'm going to do another. Sorry, I'm using a lot of these attribute adjust floats today. I'm going to do this, put it in a linear mode. Come over here and let's just adjust this. I'm going to have this start down here and move up this way. Something like that. We're just going to call this Falloff. I could do this with mops as well. Just kind of doing something quick and easy for myself here. So there we go. We've got a Falloff attribute. We could throw that in here. And what I am thinking, there is a really nice thing called attribute fade. What does this need? I'm trying to remember here. So, sure what's going on there. Node name is not okay. Cool. Start frame, hold frame. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this to be 0 to 24. Can actually just call this start frame. If I come over here, say start frame. Okay, cool. Cool. Just trying to remember if there's a way to do this with multiple start frames. Just trying to remember. Kind of feel like there is, but let me see. Oh, interesting. Interesting. All right, let's see here. Let's do this. Just see if I could do this. Something like this. And then that's too bad. Wish I could have. I really like this node because it's procedural, so it's kind of nice, but I'm going to struggle, I think, with making this work. Let's see. My brute force brain would blur it. Yeah, you could blur it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try this though. Let's see. So this is nice. We're getting like a nice sort of fade across here. Looks like the Louis Vuitton sign at the Santa Monica Place Mall. Interesting. Can't say that I know what that is or what it looks like, but that's cool. I'm actually changing this because I'm realizing that it was literally the exact same thing either way I did this. So kind of silly to do it the way I was doing it, like that. So if I do this with 5 and 5, this is the same difference. Yeah, that's a good point. Couldn't you just remap this instead from 0 to 1? Yeah, that's a good point. I could do that. Hmm. Oh, that's cool. That was not what I was expecting. Um, hmm. Yeah, I'm just thinking of how I could best do this. Getting fancier than Louis Vuitton. Yeah, that's me. You know me. I'm pretty fancy. Uh, hmm. Whoa. That is another language. I don't know what that says. Interesting. That's an interesting one. Um, interesting. It looks like that translation is the most important thing is to be happy and to be happy. Something to that nature. Yeah, that's a good point. Sign would work just fine, wouldn't it? Yes. Yes, you're right. Sign would work just fine there. Stupid. All right. Sometimes I just get caught up in my own brain. Let's see here. So fall off. Matt would be happy now. Waves. Yep, that's a good point. So we do sign, and we can just throw this in. Do a bind. Fall off like so. Throw that into sign. And let's just do a bind export. We can just call this like mask or something like that. Oops, let me just press every button I'm not meaning to press. Mask, there we go. Let's check this out. Let's turn on mask. And so that's 0 to 1. Let's do this as, let's do a fit range. Then we'll also throw in a degree to radians. Should be fairly easy to throw in there. So fit. So we're gonna do 0 to 1. Let's just do like 0 to 360, right? And is this still set 0 to 1? Sorry. Yes, 0 to 1. And then we'll see. Let's just do that. And we should be able to maybe add in time into it, maybe we'll do that. If we add the time to the fall, I think that'll make it animate. Let's try that. Okay, why is that? Why is it doing that? Oh, is what are we visualizing here? Mask, right? Yeah. What is it set to? Say auto. Just want to visualize what's happening here. Yeah, I mean, that seems right. Oh, right, because we're starting at 0 to 1. That's right. Right. Yeah, so what we need is yeah, modulo though goes like up and down in a weird way. I'm going to do it a little differently, but if we do fit range unclamped, I believe that will do it. Then yeah, there we go. Cool. Yeah, because it was just clamping the value is what it was doing. So what if we do 180? What is that? What does that look like? Yeah, there we go. And then we can just do some multipliers in here. So we can do multiply constant. And then something like that is probably good. And I am going to, if I negate this, does that go the other way? I think that's right. Yep. Okay. I just want it to go that way for whatever reason. Okay, cool. So we've got a mask. And let's just clamp it here. Cool. And actually, you know what? I don't think we even need this. It's kind of going fast enough. I don't want it to go too crazy. Cool. Okay. Let's give this a shot. See what we can come up with here. All right. So I could actually do this on the side. It doesn't need to go there. So that's going to be our mask. It's going to do the same thing as well. There we go. Because these don't need to be time dependent. That's nice. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to that's interesting. Did I just, what did I do here? Okay. That's what happened. So this is going to be all right. Thanks everybody for the help. I think we got it figured out there. Thank you for the sign contribution. That was very, very helpful. And I think hopefully that will get us where we want it to be. So what we need to do now is get this, basically get that, oh, that's so annoying. Anyways, we need to get this attribute onto our constraints, right? And the constraints that we need to get it to are, what am I visualizing here that I shouldn't be? Nothing. The constraints we want to get it to are the actual these stretch ones, because we want to adjust their rest length to this kind of blend back and forth between the original rest length and this new rest length. And I think we actually have the original rest length right here. So what we can do is we can basically have it so that the original rest length and the new rest length kind of go back and forth together. So let's try that. So we need that to go across the actual constraints. So what we actually need to do is have this value on these here. So we need to promote them up to the primitive level so that we can actually have that read in. So let's do that. We can use this actually again. Doesn't really matter. We can just pull from right here. These are our stretch constraints, and we can attribute transfer across here. So we're going to transfer it to this from this. Just want to make sure that we have our There we go. Obviously that's at point level still. We want that to be at the primitive level. So then obviously we can do an attribute promote here, and we can pull the mask from point to primitive. And this should have it now at the primitive level. And so there's our mask here. We should see it go across. Perfect. So we've got an animating mask here at the primitive level on the same exact geometry that we created here with the Vellum constraints. So that's good. Let's see what we can do here. Cool. Sorry, I'm just making sure everything's good here. Yeah, cool. All right, so we have this attribute promote. That should be good. I'm just going to put a null here. We'll pull that in and use that. We'll just say masked. Something like that. Con mask. We'll use that in here. So we're going to use over here. So let's do a yeah, we can just do a wrangle. I think that's fine. We'll do a geo wrangle here. Wire this in. I think that should be fine. We're going to run this over primitives. We also need to do data bindings. We're going to not use the actual geometry. We're going to use constraint geometry. Over here, constraint geometry. So we'll add in constraint at the top of this. This is just obviously another stream of data, geometry data that's going to be inside of here. And that's going to allow us to be able to manipulate this. I'm also going to say for input 2, going to take a SOP, and I'm going to pull that in, which is going to be the constraint mask. And I believe we need to set this to myself, I think. A fetch. No, I don't think we're going to fetch it in here. We're just going to use it as an input into this, and we can then pull our data in. So yes. So what we can do is let's get our mask. So let's just say float prim mask equals, and we're going to just say prim. And we're going to pull this in from geometry 1. The attribute name is going to be called mask, and the prim number is going to be the current prim. So we're going to say 1. I'm going to call this mask. And then the last thing is going to be at prim num, like that. I think that should work. Yep. So then if we were to do f at mask, we can just do that and say prim mask. And that should now have a mask. If we hit play here, we should see these start to simulate, and we should see this mask eventually get some values in it. And it does, and it's animating, and that is great. So we're seeing exactly what we want. Nice and helpful. The other thing is we weren't actually seeing that animate because that geometry is doing some funky stuff. So let's go back here. There we go. Cool. All right. So, right. So what we need to do is now have that in there. So let's do this. I think it would actually make sense to do one thing here because we can mix between two different ones with that mask. So this is going to be our rest length. What I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to, I'm going to make just copy here. So I'm going to do an attribute copy. So we can just get a different name for each of these. We can have, let's see, this is going to be the primitives, and let's grab rest length. And we're going to say, nope, it's not attribute copy. What is it? Attribute swap, that's what it is. That's actually the one we wanted, sorry. So we do primitives here, and we're going to do rest length, and we'll just call it rest length noise or something like that. So now we have rest length noise, we have rest length, and that's all good. So great, that looks good. So what we can do now is go back in here, and I think is there a mix function? No, just a lerp, right? I think that's what it is, right? Linear interpolation between two values. That's what we want. Yep. Okay. So what we can do is we can say, we'll just call this float rest equals lerp. And this is going to be the two values and then the amount of interpolation between them. So the first one we can do is, let me think here. First, because if it's at 0, we want it to be the original. So let's do that. We'll do f at rest length orig. We'll do f at rest length noise, and then we will do f at mask. Or sorry, not f at mask. We're just going to do, what's the name of this? What did I call this? Prim mask. Okay. And then what I can say is f at rest length equals rest. That should work, I think. Let's give that a shot, see what happens here. Whole long mess of weirdness that I apparently typed. Interesting. This needs to be for the group stretch. What? Why are we getting an error here? Shouldn't be an error. Why are we getting an error? Wait a second, did I do this wrong? Maybe I did this wrong. Oh, weird. That recalculated that. Why did it recalculate that? Interesting. Okay, interesting. Let me think. So it's recalculating that rest length original. Very strange. Right. Well, I'll have to do another thing here and do copy. Well, copy and paste. Okay. We'll just say flat. I don't know. Rest length flat. Try that instead because it's recalculating that. So let's try this here. Flat. Okay, let's see. Wow, it recalculated that as well? Okay, well, I know what we're going to do. We're just going to say, just do this noise rest, change the name. Hopefully that gives us flat rest. Something like that. Let's come in here. Flat rest. I'm guessing there's some sort of code in here that looks for anything with that name and recalculates it, which is really odd. I'm really surprised by that, but okay, let's see what happens here. How is it That's crazy. It recalculates this. So it's anything with the word rest in it must be. Interesting. So we'll say noise. Is there some option that overrides that? I don't think so. That a little bit. I don't think so. I'm surprised by that. That's really odd to me. All right, let me come back in here, change this again. Just say flat noise. I mean, there's nothing in there now that should see that. It's just flat and noise. No. It's a great thing. I'm not sure why that would be the what? How is it recalculating that? No, that's a great. Why is it doing that? Okay, so I am not sure what's going on there, how that's recalculating. That is really super strange. These values aren't changing, right? Okay. I'm just going to do this and say in con like this. So these are the in constraints. Don't know why this is happening, but I am just going to do this. Yeah, there's something initializing there because what happens with Vellum is that there's an initial calculation that runs to kind of like make sure everything is in its right spot. But why it's calculating on this flat, like it's just a random attribute. I mean, it's literally nothing. Why it's calculating it to be the same as the rest length. What is it even calculating? It's calculating some weird rest length thing, and I don't understand how it's even doing that. I mean, I don't think it's what this is doing. Let me just turn this off for a second. It could be what that's doing, but nope. Yeah. It's literally not even, it's nothing to do with that. I don't understand how that's happening at all. Also, why? Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand that at all. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to take another SOP import here. We're just going to say in constraints and oops. Let's reset viewport. So instead of this, we are going to say float noise rest. And then we're just have another float noise flat. And this is just going to be basically the exact same thing here, except this will be from prim2, and we'll be looking at noise rest. Or no, this is just noise. Sorry, I've renamed this a bunch of times. Hopefully it's not too confusing. This is flat. Prim num. And then here we should have, we'll just get rid of this so it's not too much. So we'll do flat noise prim mask. Oh, sorry, this should be noise. Okay. Fingers crossed that this will work. Not sure. It's going to explode? No way. Why is it exploding? It's definitely going to explode. Huh. Hmm. Yep. Well, I'm guessing it has something to do with the extreme nature of what I'm doing here. Maybe I'm just going too far with this. Let me just try something. No. Hmm. No, resetting this. Yeah, I tried resetting the solver. Um, hmm. Okay. I think I have an idea instead. Um, Let me try something here. Let's see if we do this. If this is any better. No. Okay. So I should be doing this anyways because we want this to adjust. So maybe what we do instead of this, sorry, this we still need, like this here. So maybe, so this is that small piece pressure. So maybe what we do instead is instead of, oh yay, making a mess here. Put that up there. Whatever. Just put this over here. Okay. So maybe what we do instead is these are going to be our constraints, right? And oh, I guess we do need this because we need that to go. Yep. Okay. Like that. So maybe what we do is instead of setting this to multiply by that amount, maybe we just do it as a set always. And this we can just say okay, so maybe we could do this multiplier instead. Just do something like this and allow for this to come in first, right? Because this should, let me just turn this off here. So this should work like that. Yep. Okay. So maybe what we do instead is we could actually do this. We could do we could take this, we could take our group, stretch, we could use a expression to actually drive this. So we could just say rest length scale, and then we could pull that in. And I think we can actually have inputs here too. So yeah, myself, we could have SOP information here. So we can pull in our mask, which you can get here, constraint mask. And then we pull in that one. And so what we could do here, I'm probably way overcomplicating this, so I'm really sorry, everybody, but we'll try our best. Yep. And let's just see what happens if I set this to be, I don't know, 1.5, for example. Oh. Whoa, that's fun. Did I have this at 2 before? Can't remember. Maybe that's actually a better way of doing this. Just having it go up like that. Okay. Let's try that, actually. So we don't need this noisy thing here. So let's just turn that off. We've got the mask. And so what we need to do is set the rest length, which is just rest scale. So let's see, rest scale equals, and then if we do, let's see here, do float. One data in bind and wrangle. Well, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I did. Well, actually, what I want to, I'm actually realizing that maybe just doing the, doing this will be all that matters. So let's just try this here. But yeah, that's interesting. Maybe I did miss something in there. It's very possible. I mean, well, it's certainly 100% possible because, yeah, I am not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm going to put this in here, and then rest scale equals, we'll say, one plus, and we'll do this 2 times prim mask. And that I don't think I put a semicolon there if I'm remembering correctly. And that should make sure the rest scale stays multiplying by 1, except when the prim mask has a value greater than 0, it will add some value between 2. So let's try that. That might work. Let's see here. Hello? What was that error? What error are we getting here? Why would I get an error there? Is rest scale, right? Yeah. Hmm. It's weird. Why am I getting an error here? It's really strange. But it's like simulating. That's so weird. Like, what? Okay, let me just see if I could find what the heck this is. Okay, maybe I just, yeah, maybe just syntax error. Maybe I need a semicolon there. I was thinking I didn't, but maybe that's right. What? How is that happening? Hmm. Hey, Andres, welcome. Welcome to the stream. What am I? Whoa, something crazy just happened there. I'm just going to close this. It seemed like that was something weird happening there. Um, yeah, I could try this for the rest length for sure. Pull this over here. Just hide that. We'll do Vellum constraint properties. Throw this in here. This will just do those same two SOPs. So this will just be 2. This will be 3. And this will be the mask. This will be the constraint. Did I do that wrong here? Maybe I did that wrong. Huh. Anyways, yeah. Oh, wait a second. That's right. I changed this. This needs to be multiply to something like that. I don't know. That's probably good enough. Let me just see here. Flat. Noise is this one. Yeah, cool. All right, let's try that. Nope. Nope, that doesn't work. Hmm. Just change this a little bit here. Change this to mask. This to mask. Two. Hmm. Just turn that off for a second. See if that does anything. I don't understand why these are. Freaking out like that. Also, are these these are nope, I will not be in SIGGRAPH this year. Yeah, I'm going to be not attending, unfortunately. But it should be fun. I would love to be there, but no, not this year for me. Let's see here. Okay. So that is acting on all of the things. We only want it to be on the stretch group. So let's see if that helps. So we want to change this to not. Interesting. Oh, I know what the problem is. It reorders the primitive numbers. Oh, I'm so stupid. That's what it does. That is exactly what it does. Man, that is really dumb and frustrating that I just totally forgot about that. Okay. So I need to do this. I need to do an enumerate here. And we're going to work on the primitives and we'll give it an index. Something like that. Gosh, I feel like I did this last time and I just totally forgot again. All right. So now these should all have. Sorry if there's loud noises happening. My dog is playing with a toy. Okay, so now we have an index that we can match. So that's great. And hopefully that will not cause us a problem anymore. Because if we look at these, let's see if we reset this. Yep. All the indices have changed. That's wonderful. Okay. So I need to set that in here. So what is this? Like ID to prim? Okay. So we're just going to do here, we're going to do int index equals ID to prim. This is going to take geometry. It's going to look for, find this geometry number. Oh, right. I can probably just say index, right? That's all I need to do. Yes. Yes. I can say, instead of this, instead of prim num, I can just do index. Because that's going to be the number. That should hopefully please work. Okay, let's try that. Yup. Look at that. Okay. Bit crazy, but we're getting somewhere. Let's see here. Maybe we'll do like 1.25, something like that. See if that works. Man, that is quick. Let's see here. Hi, Leonard. Leonard's here. Come here. Up. Gonna come up and say hi? Come on up. Can anybody see him? I don't think so. Come on up. Come up here. No? Okay. My dog's trying to play with me. Anyways, let's see here. So, let's do time. Let's do multiply constant. And if we do 0.5, maybe we just fit this a little bit. Or maybe we do this. Something like this. Okay. Let's just see what happens if we slow it down a little bit. That might be good. Let's see. Let's see. Just trying to think of why. Yeah, if I do that, it's going to. Maybe what I do is lengthen this out a little bit. Shorten it? Yeah, there we go. Maybe shorten this a little bit. No. Try after the sign. Yeah, that's a good point. Do like a multiply here. Use the fit after the sign. Right. Yeah, like that. Right. Good call. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Thank you. Ugh, sometimes my brain. Let's try that. Yeah, there we go. That's starting to work. Very nice. Now I wonder if instead of that, let's see here. Let's try this and see if we can't do something similar, but add in that other constraint thing. So that's the mask and that's working. Let me think. What did I have here? Yep, I had this. Let's try this. Actually, all I would need is the multiplier. So let's do that. Yeah, so this should work. So let me just see here. So I'm just going to make a random multiplier. We'll do between, maybe we'll do between 0.7. We'll do between 0.75 and 1.25. Let's try that. Let's see how that works. So we'll just say, hopefully everybody's following along here. Sorry, I got a little twisted up there. That stupid index thing screwed me up. So sorry about that. Let's try this. So now we're gonna have a multiplier. We don't even need this anymore, so we can just take this off. We could just say something like noise constraint, just so we're not too confused about this. Yep, there we go. That got renamed. And so now what we can do is we can say float multiplier equals, and then we'll do input 4, technically. We'll say multiplier, use the index, semicolon there, and then here we can just say multiplier times the mask. So this will be hopefully that random multiplier. Let's see if we can get something a little interesting here. Yeah, that looks like that's working. All right, so let's reset this and just play around with this a little bit. Maybe we'll do 0.2 up to 1.25, see how that goes. No, I don't like that. Let's see. Just curious what happens if I do this. Go really crazy with that. Nope. Nope, I do not like that. No, I don't really think I like the noise in there that much. Kind of like it more without it. So we'll just call that good. I mean, it's definitely not the same effect, but it's something similar. It's more of like a pressure effect than like turning into like, it's kind of the opposite of what that one is in some ways, but it's okay. It's sort of doing its thing. All right, so what if I change this to be 0.05? And then I have to figure out the group here that's going to, not this one, sorry. I need to figure out what the small pieces are going to be. And they are going to be 392,485. And okay, I think that's right. Whoa, nope, that's not right. I missed something up there. Yeah, see, this is why I wanted to have that be. Now let me just turn this off for a second, see what this does. That's interesting. It's all like deflated except for that one little area there. That's really interesting. How would you approach a secondary mask to reveal the original geometry before pressure? Um, well, if you wanted it to like warp back into place or something like that, like to this geometry here, I mean, that's really just a separate mask, like maybe like a reset mask, you could call that or something. I don't know. But what you would do is basically just get an actual rest position, right? For the points, and you could just wipe it back to that original rest position, right? So like up here, you would do like a rest position, right? Something here. I'm just going to turn this back. What was it? 0, 1 maybe? Yeah. So let me just see here. What's going on? Okay. So like here we have our rest positions, right? And these are going to actually store it on the points. And let's just see here. Yeah, so you could just do something here, like you could do like a point vop, and let's just have this go down a little bit like this, right? And let's just say you had an attribute adjust float, something like this. Do another line, let's just say. Do something like this maybe. And 0 to 1, we could say this. We'll call it like reset, something like that. And then if we come down here, we could just do a bind, get our rest attribute. And then I don't think there's a linear, no. So we could just do a blend, I think. Is that a thing? I think it would just be a mix. So we could just take rest and our position here. Wait a second. Does this not take? Yeah, 3D vector. Okay. Sorry, this has to be a vector. There we go. Blend that into this and take our, well, you can see here if we just take this and just go back and forth with it, it's going to reset it like that. And so then you could take a bind, another bind here. We could just call this, what did it, reset? Something like that. This is a float. We wire that into the bias. Then you could just take this here and just like as you move this around, right, you could just animate this across and it's basically going to reset it back to defaults, right? So if you did this, right? Oh, I'm up in the air. Sorry. Should be moving that on the axes here. So I'm getting weird values. So there you go. So if we took it like this, we moved it around, you'll see that this will, you know, reset it basically. So you could just wipe this across and have it back to its original geometry like that. So it's really just about blending a rest value back in, right? And you could get that attribute any number of ways, right? That's just one way that I'm doing it real quick. I mean, you could do even this, right? You could do like a radial thing. And as we move this around, we would be able to get varying values here. I'm just going to reset that to, so you could have a radial value. You could do whatever. I mean, a whole bunch of different options there, but that would be my recommendation for that. Anyways, I might play around with this a little bit more, maybe over the weekend or something like that. I'm going to undo that, actually. I'll leave that. This is kind of a mess, but I'm just going to say, I'm just going to call this something. Trying things. Okay. So there we go. We've got a simulation. It worked out all right. Not perfect, but it's something. Dumb index thing got me all screwed up. So anyways, yeah, hopefully you all learned something. Hopefully I didn't totally just go off the rails and do something stupid. But yeah, anyways, hopefully that is something at least slightly interesting to you. And yeah, we will... we'll leave that there for this evening. And if anybody has any other finishing up questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. But yeah, I think we're going to be wrapping things up here in a moment. So cool. Well, thank you all for joining and for being here. It was a fun little experiment here to do some Vellum stuff. Vellum's always kind of fun because it feels a bit more practical. Unfortunately, there is the annoyance of those constraints all getting goofed up in their primitive number, which is unfortunate, but sometimes things happen. Oh, that's a great thing. Yeah, quick announcement. The Houdini YouTube Inside the Mind started a new website, GitHub repo. Yes, exactly. What is it called? I can't remember what that one was called. There's a name for it. Shoot. It's called Node something. I can't remember what it was. Sorry, somebody probably just put it in there. Yeah, specifically for learning. Yep, exactly. It's really cool. I was somebody posted it in here somewhere. Let me see. Where is it? Node Society. That's the name of it. Node Society. Yeah, very cool. Really like that a lot. Yeah, you should definitely check that out. It's pretty neat. So yeah, go check out Node Society for some good Houdini content, and I think people will be able to post stuff in there, and should be pretty cool. Yeah, let me see here. It's I'll find the link and I'll post it in there. Let's see here. Node Society. Nope, it's not that. Introducing Node Society here. Let me mute this real quick before it goes crazy loud. There it is. Okay. I got the link address here. Whoop. That's not it. Node Society. Copy link address. Oh my gosh. You've got to be kidding me. Stupid YouTube. What is it? Node-society.com. See if I can do this. Yeah, there we go. Node-society.com. So check it out. Seems like a cool place. Hopefully there'll be lots of good, helpful things to learn from there. Oh yeah, there's already some stuff in there. Nice. Oh, that's great. Very cool. Yeah, so go check it out. See if there's stuff to that you can add to it or help people out with. And yeah, should be pretty neat. So yeah, thank you all for joining and being a part of the chat. As always, I always appreciate people, making comments and helping out. Hopefully I was able to make sense of what everybody was kind of rapid fire shouting at me. But yeah, it was a fun little session, and hope to see you again next time. So thanks for joining, and I'll see you guys all next week. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.